Social. I am Kylie Jean, and I am here with General Vallely. General, it is such an honor to have you here with us today.
Well, thank you. Happy to be with you.
Thank you for being with us. Now, you're a man of just great stature in every way, what you represent and who you are.
Thank you.
You also are an author of 3 books.
Right.
And 3 books that have very important messages for right now.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your books?
Well, I think to write a book, you have to be really inspired.
Yes.
You have to have an idea.
Yeah.
And so the 3 books I have now, America's Endgame for the 21st Century, that'll be out next month.
Okay.
Book, The Reality Prism, is out now. And then The Mindless War is the 3rd. It's an e-book.
Yes.
Short one, The Mindless War.
That's a fascinating title. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, the mindless war of the mindless people that are running this dismantling of America, this movement to the leftist ideology, communist ideology. And it's under the Communist Manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
The minds, you change the minds of the people, you control them. It's a tyranny type of thing. So that's what Mindless War is about, the mindless people that are doing this to us.
Which is interesting because most people, I think, are indoctrinated nowadays versus being educated.
That's right.
And so they don't even realize that those who hold the weight of power right now in our nation are truly mindless.
Yeah, and they're
exactly
naive.
They're completely
Even very
naive.
educated people that I run into are very naive to what's going on. But,
Absolutely.
I'll have to tell you the story about this.
Please
if
tell
you'd like
us,
to.
yes.
Anyhow, several years ago, I headed up a delegation to Cairo, Egypt.
Oh, wow.
And it was right after the second revolution when Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood were ousted out of Egypt. And a general by the name of General al-Sisi took over as head of the military and then became president. And so I was meeting General al-Sisi and about 12 of his generals in his offices in Cairo. And they were mad, very upset with the United States because Obama and Congress had cut off their military aid. And their military aid, their helicopters, arms, all that stuff was dependent on the flow of U.S. Military aid to Egypt. And so General al-Sisi turned to me, about 8 feet away, and he says, "Why does America always seem to make its decisions looking through a political prism?"
Yeah.
He said, "I have to look through a reality prism.
Wow.
I'm responsible for the Suez, the Sinai south of Israel. I've got to rebuild my country because it was destroyed under Morsi, under the Muslim Brotherhood. And I've got failing nations. I've got Libya to my west. I've got Somalia to my south. I can't afford to bring the Egyptian people back playing politics." And so with the pyramids and all of that, that was the birth and the inspiration to write Reality Prism. And today, what's happening in America? The politicians seem to think they can make political decisions to solve our problem. Get me elected, I'll do this. Once they get elected, they need to look through a reality prism.
Absolutely.
Not power, not money, not getting reelected, but look through a reality prism to solve the problems for the American people.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because our founding fathers really did seem to look through reality in a value-based prism. They had to because they experienced the opposite of what they were wanting to build.
Exactly.
So how do we get back to our very foundation?
Well, America's Endgame, we do lay out a blueprint. The first Endgame book I wrote in 2004 with General McInerney, and that was a war against radical Islam, how to defeat radical Islam. And that was after the 9/11 attack. The first chapter focused strictly on the spiritual awakening of America.
Wow. Now, can you unpack how the spiritual awakening of America is actually tied to seeing physical results?
What it is being honest, being people of integrity. We've got so far away from religion and the spiritual part of life. If you don't have a spiritual component, you know, I fought in combat, but what got me through it was my spiritual belief, okay? And if you don't have that integrity, honesty, all of those things which define that spiritual awakening, and be void of all the things that detract from being very honest and a person of integrity. And that's what we need to really have happen in our schools. We need to get back to that, teaching And so that's the whole first book. But then we lay out a whole blueprint. What do we have to do? So,
where do people go to find your book?
All 3 are on Amazon.
Okay, amazing.
America's Endgame is on pre-order now. It'll be out next month. We just received Reality Prism this week, and then Mindless War is an ebook. It's on Kindle.
All back to back.
Yeah.
You've been a very busy man.
Yeah. Well, I'll be 83 in another month, but
83, young and fresh, with a lot of leeway ahead of you.
I'm still fighting, I'll tell you that, because we're going to turn this country around. We really are.
Yes, sir.
And this is the year to start doing it.
I agree full-heartedly, and I think everything that you've said is so encouraging. So make sure that you guys go ahead and go onto Amazon, find General Vallely's book. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for everything that you stand for and still fighting today, sir. I appreciate you so much.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.